The movie begins with a chaotic atmosphere in the streets of Cairo. It is 2013, during the height of political unrest following the military's ousting of President Mohamed Morsi. Amidst the turmoil, the scene focuses on a police truck where people are being detained. The soldiers first pushed two men inside. The two men tried to attract the attention of people by screaming. A group of people heard their scream and stopped to ask them who they were. Zayn asked for a phone, and just when the people were going to assist them, they saw the other one, Adam, recording and figured they were from the press and started throwing stones at them. The soldiers came and started getting the people in the truck. As the scene progresses, the police truck makes its way through the streets, capturing glimpses of the violent clashes between protesters and security forces. The sound of shouting, chanting, and occasional gunfire adds to the intensity of the moment. The camera occasionally shifts to the detainees inside the truck, showing their fear, anger, and confusion as they are thrown together in this confined space. The detainees inside the police truck experience a brief moment of chaos and desperation as they attempt to contact their families. One answers a ringing phone, telling his family about their arrest and asking them to inform their father. Other detainees also want to use the phone to contact their families, leading to a heated argument. One detainee mentions involving the American embassy due to the presence of an American journalist, while another detainee offers to call his influential uncle, a general, for help. As tensions rise, the phone eventually falls and breaks. Following the argument over the phone, one of the detainees, Radwan, steps forward and assures everyone that he can fix the phone. They hand it over to him, and he quickly manages to repair it. A little boy named Faris tries to look out of the window, but his mother, Nagwa, stops him. His father defends Faris, leading to a heated argument between the parents. Nagwa criticizes her husband for being irresponsible by bringing their son to the protest and getting arrested. The father counters by saying they've attended many protests before. Outside the truck, the police are engaged in a fierce confrontation with protesters, arresting many and adding them to the already crowded vehicle. Inside, the tension among the detainees escalates, leading to physical fights as the confined space becomes increasingly unbearable. A police officer intervenes, shouting at them to stop fighting. Suddenly, a fire truck arrives and starts spraying water over everyone, both inside and outside the truck, which eventually calms the situation. After the fight stops, a police officer enters the truck and scolds the detainees for their behavior. Adam, one of the detainees, tries to reason with the officer, pointing out that there are children present. The officer blames Adam for the chaos, accusing him of being an American troublemaker. Adam insists that he is Egyptian, but the officer handcuffs him to the truck as punishment. Before leaving, the officer orders another cop to keep the truck door open to prevent further fights, warning that if the detainees attempt to assault each other again, they should open fire. The officer then leaves, leaving the detainees in a tense and precarious situation. Following the earlier confrontation, the detainees start helping each other despite ongoing tension between the different groups. When people call for a doctor, Fares mentions that his mother, Nagwa, is a nurse. Nagwa begins treating their wounds. Meanwhile, Zine approaches Adam, who is handcuffed, and warns him about the dangers of their situation, referencing a recent incident where 37 people were killed in a similar truck. Another truck full of detainees arrives, and the people in the first truck begin interacting with those in the second truck. They call out to each other, checking on friends and family members, and trying to confirm who is present and who is missing. Tamir, a detainee, confirms his identity and reassures Haj Hamza about their well-being. The detainees hear another truck approaching and call out to see if Malik El-Kafas is with them. Dr. Suhaib Shokri, another detainee, introduces himself and starts organizing the group, asking for the names of all the arrested brothers. Upon Dr. Suhaib's request, Moaz starts organizing the Muslim Brotherhood members in the truck. He asks all official members to gather on one side. The detainees begin identifying themselves by name and district, indicating their membership and seniority within the Brotherhood. This process creates tension, as not all detainees are Brotherhood members. As the Brotherhood members and supporters separate themselves, the atmosphere in the truck grows more strained. Moaz Sabet, a senior Brotherhood member, takes charge and asks supporters to distinguish themselves by turning their armbands to the red side. He emphasizes the need for rules to ensure their safety. Conflict arises when some detainees resist segregation and question the Brotherhood's authority. An argument ensues, and others demanding respect and cooperation. The detainees struggle to maintain order and avoid further violence. Mans calls out to the officers, complaining about Moaz causing trouble. Mans accuses Moaz of trying to provoke a scene, claiming he is being disrespectful, especially with women present. Moaz defends himself, insisting they don't want any any problems. An officer intervenes, forcefully telling everyone to back off and maintain dignity. Radwan, one of the detainees, becomes visibly distressed. He confides in Salah that he can't hold his bladder any longer due to his medical condition. Salah starts calling out to the officers for help, explaining the urgency of the situation. Dismissively, an officer responds sarcastically, questioning if Radwan is a child. However, Salah insists that Radwan is diabetic. The officer dismisses the pleas and insists they wait until the situation calms down. Despite objections, the officer hands over a plastic water bottle for Radwan to use. Radwan is reluctant to use the small, dirty water bottle provided by the officer, feeling humiliated and uncomfortable. Seeing his distress, Tamer steps in to help, Radwan to a corner of the truck and shows him how to use the bottle. A young man seeks reassurance from Mr. Omar about the possibility of the president returning to power. Mr. Omar encourages him to have faith in God rather than in the odds, dismissing the young man's doubts as devil's thoughts. Their conversation is interrupted when the young man sees Adam secretly recording with a hidden camera. This discovery creates immediate tension among the detainees. Everyone demands to see the device. Adam lied, saying it was a watch, but the detainees realize it is a camera. They all become angry, insisting that no cameras are allowed. Adam tries to explain that the camera is for work and could help them by recording their situation. The detainees are divided, with some wanting to destroy the camera and others seeing its potential value. Suddenly, a loud thud hits the truck, causing panic among the detainees. They spot a shooter on top of a nearby tank, leading to a chaotic scene where they shout for an ambulance and warn each other about the sniper. Another truck passes, and detainees call out to check on each other. Huzaifa confirms the brothers are safe, but tensions remain high as they speculate the sniper is working with the police. The detainees witness the police beating a man outside, leaving him bleeding. They call for medical help, noting a nurse among them, but the police dismiss their pleas. Tamir tries to take charge, emphasizing their right to defend themselves, but faces skepticism and hostility. The detainees urgently call for help, stressing the presence of children, but an officer threatens to gas and lock them if they continue causing trouble. Due to the excessive heat and unpleasant smells, detainees move around restlessly. In the other truck, detainees scream that someone has died. A detainee in the first truck, fearing it might be his father, rushes out but is beaten by the police and pulled back inside. The detainees in the other truck continue to scream that they can't breathe, and Salah begs the police to open the doors. The police argue among themselves about opening the doors as the situation grows increasingly chaotic. Amidst the turmoil, Fisho listens to music to drown out the noise and cope with the stress. Later that night, detainees, including Salah, Tamer, and Haj Hamza, engage in personal conversations. Salah notices marks on Haj Hamza's back and realizes they are from torture, turning the conversation to their families. Haj Hamza shares that his son is 17. Salah mentions his older son, Talha, is in college. Haj Hamza laments missing his son's upbringing due to imprisonment. Tamer reassures him, but when Haj Hamza says his son doesn't support their cause, Tamer lightens the mood with a sarcastic remark. Rabi is bleeding, and Nagwa helps him, discovering his mouth is badly cut. Rabi explains he got into a fight at a Muslim Brotherhood protest where his dog, his only friend, was killed, highlighting his loneliness. Aisha's father notices she needs to use the bathroom and pleads with a soldier for help. The soldier refuses, citing orders and lack of facilities, leaving detainees frustrated and angry. Protesters attack the truck, and Aisha and her father manage to get out. Nagwa sees her husband is injured. Aisha and her father get separated. Aisha is pulled back into the truck by soldiers while her father is hit by stones. The police try to pull Aisha's unconscious father to safety. Inside the truck, conditions worsen as detainees start their own protest. Outside, the battle intensifies with fireworks. Detainees use a laser pointer to signal soldiers. Tear gas fills the truck, causing detainees to cover their mouths and become unconscious. After a while, the detainees manage to light up the truck, bringing some calm. They then start asking Adam about life in America and why he returned to Egypt. Zine regains consciousness and asks why his head is spinning. They explain that the gas has disorienting effects and that Zine missed out on some bizarrely funny moments. Suddenly, they hear thudding sounds again, prompting them to call their relatives. Mans takes the phone to call his uncle but sees a text exchange between his sister and Fisho, which provokes a fight. The other detainees manage to intervene and stop the altercation, maintaining a fragile peace amidst the chaos. After the situation calmed, they all sat and started talking. Tamer started to sing, and Zayn started recording openly, and no one protested. When the truck moved, they saw fire and destruction behind Team M. Omar questions Mr. Moaz about allowing the chant, "Retribution is a bullet." Moaz explains it's crucial for the Brotherhood's unity and reassures that things will return to normal once they're back in power. Omar expresses doubt, citing their current chaos. Moaz quotes a Quranic verse about Allah supporting believers and dealing with wrongdoers, to which Omar agrees, reaffirming their faith. Fisho approaches Mans and admits he was afraid to tell him about his relationship with Mans's sister. He explains he intended to confess and that his new DJ gig is for her. Fisho reveals he planned to ask for her hand in marriage with Mans's blessing. Mans, feeling betrayed, reacts angrily, saying he'd rather give her to a traitor than to Fisho, whom he now sees as a lowlife. Despite Fisho's plea, Mans angrily pushes him away. The other detainees try to comfort Aisha. The truck stops, and a Gui called Malik, the driver, gets out and attempts to break the door to free them. He is a brother of one of the detainees. He discovers it's locked with a handcuff and can't find the key. Malik runs to a nearby cabin but returns, saying he couldn't reach anyone because everyone is at the protest. The detainees argue, with some wanting Malik to drive to the protest and others against it. Malik tries to break the door by crashing the truck into a wall, and the detainees attempt to push it open. Malik keeps driving, and those against going to the protest threaten to kill his brother if he doesn't stop. Malik's brother, who is also detained, informs Malik that their father is dead, fueling Malik's anger, and he continues driving. The detainees, feeling the grief, let him go, but kept pleading with Malik to stop the truck. Adam watches a recording from earlier. As they near the protest, they realize the crowd consists of anti-Morsi protesters. The Muslim Brotherhood members, who initially urged Malik to continue, now beg him to stop, but the truck is already deep into the crowd. Chaos ensues as the protesters scream, "Traitors!" The movie concludes with the detainees trying to open the truck door as a green laser pointer fills the truck, symbolizing the ongoing turmoil. And with that, the movie ends. We hope you enjoyed our video. Watch the next recaps on the screen and don't forget to subscribe for more amazing recaps. See you in the next one.